Welcome to Last Echo Archives. You're about to hear Episode 1, Black Depth Log. Brace yourself and enjoy the descent. Black Depth Log. The descent began at 0640. The vessel Asteria 3 was never designed for record-breaking depth, but the funding pressure had pushed the mission beyond its intended limits. The crew consisted of 3. Daniel Reyes, systems engineer, Kavita Sharma, marine biologist, and Marcus Hale, pilot and expedition lead. All 3 had signed off on the risk, at least officially. By 0815, they had passed 2,000 meters. The ocean outside had already turned into something abstract. No light, no horizon, just particulate matter drifting endlessly like dust in space. The only sounds inside the sub were mechanical, the low hum of circulation systems, the occasional click of relays, and the faint, intermittent creaking of the pressure hull adjusting to the immense weight outside. Kavita documented everything: water density, external temperature, bioluminescent activity. There was less of it than expected. "That's strange," she had murmured earlier, more to herself than anyone else. By 0902, they reached 3,100 meters. That was when the first anomaly occurred. The sonar picked up something below them. Not unusual in itself, but the reading was too clean, too defined, a shape without distortion. Marcus adjusted the angle. The object didn't move. "Probably a rock formation," Daniel said, but even he didn't sound convinced. At 3,300 meters, the hull emitted its first loud groan. It wasn't catastrophic, not even dangerous, not yet, but it was enough to silence the cabin. Everyone knew that sound. It meant stress. They continued descending. By 0947, the depth indicator read 3,780 meters, and then it stopped. Marcus tapped the display. No response. Daniel reset the system, still frozen. "Backup reading?" Marcus asked. Daniel checked. The backup showed the same number, unchanging. "Sensor glitch," Daniel said, though his voice had tightened. Kavita leaned forward, staring out into the black. "There's something there," she said quietly. The external lights flickered, just once, then stabilized. And for a brief moment, something reflected the light back. Not a creature, not movement, a surface, smooth, curved, too uniform to be natural. Marcus angled the sub slightly. The shape remained beside them, matching their position, matching their descent, except they weren't descending anymore. Marcus checked the controls. Neutral buoyancy, no input, and yet the altimeter indicated decreasing distance from the sea floor. They were still going down. "Ballast is locked," Daniel said. "I didn't engage it," Marcus replied. The sub creaked again, longer this time, more strained. The temperature inside dropped by 2 degrees, then 3. Condensation formed rapidly along the interior walls. Kavita wiped the viewport with her sleeve. "Tell me you're seeing that," she said. Daniel looked. Marcus didn't want to, but he did. The shape outside wasn't just beside them anymore. It extended downward, far beyond the reach of their lights. A structure, impossible in scale, like they were descending along the side of something constructed. "Turn us around," Daniel said. Marcus tried. The controls responded, but sluggishly, as if something resisted. The sub tilted slightly, and then the lights cut out. Total darkness. For 2 seconds, 3, 5. When they returned, the sonar was blank. No readings, no noise, just an empty screen. "That's not possible," Daniel whispered. The system rebooted automatically. Still nothing. No ocean floor, no objects, no terrain, as if they were suspended in a void. Then came the sound, a soft, metallic tap from outside. Everyone froze. Another tap, slower. deliberate, from the rear of the hull. Marcus turned off the external lights instantly. Darkness swallowed them again. The tapping stopped. Silence, complete. The kind of silence that feels wrong, too total, too absolute. Kavita's breathing became audible. Daniel's hand hovered over the system controls. No one spoke. Then, a new sound. Not outside, inside. A faint knock from behind the paneling, near the oxygen system. Daniel turned slowly. "That's not," he began. Another knock, closer this time, from within the walls. The oxygen readout flickered, 21%, 20%, 18%, dropping too fast. "That's impossible," Daniel said, louder now. "I didn't touch anything." Marcus tried to initiate emergency ascent. No response. The sub continued descending, without command. The depth display flickered back to life. 4,120 meters, 4,300, 4,500. Kavita stared at the viewport. "There's something in there," she said. "In what?" Marcus asked. She didn't answer. She was pointing at the glass. Condensation had formed patterns. From the inside, thin streaks, vertical, like something had been dragged downward, repeatedly, from within the cabin. Another knock, right behind Marcus. He didn't turn. He couldn't. The lights dimmed again. The temperature dropped further. Their breath became visible. Daniel checked the internal camera feed, then froze. "There's a fourth heat signature," he said. No one responded. "It's behind us." Marcus slowly turned. There was nothing there, just the cramped interior, the equipment, the panels, the condensation. But the camera showed something else. A shape, distorted, pressed close to the rear wall, not fully visible, just enough to register. Another knock, louder, this time from inside the cabin, right against the hull. The depth display stopped again. 4,892 meters, frozen. The oxygen dropped to 12%. The knocking stopped. For a moment, there was silence. Then the system speaker activated. No signal had been initiated, no transmission received, but something came through. Not a voice, not exactly. Just a low, layered sound, like multiple tones trying to form something recognizable. The system tried to interpret it. Text began appearing on the screen, fragmented, incorrect. Then, clear. 3 words, displayed in static white text. "You came back." Marcus stared at it. Daniel shook his head. "That's not possible," he whispered. Kavita stepped closer to the viewport. The condensation shifted, not dripping, not sliding, rearranging, forming something, shapes, symbols, or letters. Her reflection looked wrong, offset, delayed, and then it moved before she did. The lights went out again. This time, they did not come back. The final log entry, recovered from the Asteria 3's black box, ends mid-recording. No distress signal was ever transmitted. No wreckage was found. The last recorded depth, 4,892 meters, which, according to oceanographic maps, should have reached solid seafloor over 600 meters earlier. Instead, the descent continued into something that had no recorded depth. Thank you for listening to Episode 1, Black Depth Log on Last Echo Archive. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for the next signal.